As of January 2015, the federal government of Nigeria's calculation of the country's loss of crude oil to pipeline vandalism stood at about 150,000 barrels per day. And at crude price of about $43, the country was losing about $6.5 million every day. And this was even before the activities of the Niger Delta Avengers, a militia group in the South-South region, which has claimed responsibility for pipelines blown up in the region in recent times. The effects, their grounds, and the possible way forward is the focus of this episode of Big Story. I'm Ini Thompson. Between the 5th and 6th of May 2016, the crude line feeds which link Warri and Kaduna refineries had been blown up. A 16-inch gas line owned by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, had been bombed, as well as a major gas facility belonging to Chevron and Shell. Also, the gas line which feeds the Lagos and Abuja electricity power supply had been damaged.
On the revenue side, the government is losing a lot. On the service side, we the people, we are losing a lot. For instance, the recent figures on ground shows that we are losing about 500,000 barrels per day. And that's a huge loss to the country, for the government. As well, pipelines broken, no gas, we can't generate electricity. The power stations are down, everybody's suffering light outs. On the other side, you have lots of environmental pollution at the sites of breakdown, which also impacts on the community, the local community there. Huge losses everywhere.
These recent attacks have been claimed by the Niger Delta Avengers, a militia group which has listed some conditions for peace, and they say they want implementation of the 2014 National Conference report, apology to Niger Deltans and the family of late Chief DPS Alamesia, ownership of oil blocks should reflect 60% for the oil-producing people, amongst others.
Yes, they have a point, but the point is not to destroy the lines. It's for them to talk and negotiate. But at the end of the day, you negotiate with these guys, what do? They take away the money and forget the community. That's what happens. And then another new set of guys will come up and do the same thing. So the truth is, let the government take a strong stance, clean up these guys, and ensure that all the operators involved in those areas near those communities live up to the expectation of the community. Do the right things. The environmental agencies should actually enforce the laws. The laws are there, but they're not being enforced. The laws are there, they're not being enforced. In the United States, when BP, where there was an environmental pollution, you are made to pay. Even with the relationship between the UK and America.
Some Nigerians have even questioned the boldness and knowledge which seems available to these groups alleged to have been involved in these damages.
But the question is, who are these pipeline bombers? Are they really the militants that are agitating for one thing or the other? How can they know the actual pipe that connected the one of Kaduna, the one that takes through to Warri and Kaduna refinery? Or is it the professionals that liaise with the militant, or did they hire professionals to do it for them? All these questions is something we need to put on and tell the youths and militants of Niger Deltas there are better ways to approach issues. You make your environment enable so that people can come in, be close to you, you tell them your problem and they can listen.
Accusing fingers have not been pointed to the Niger Delta Avengers alone. The country has recorded several attacks and explosion of pipelines. This has kept security agencies on their toes and have recorded several discovery and recoveries.
Conducted raid operation at Otukutu Steel Village in search of stolen Nigerian Petroleum Development Corporation (NPDC for short) pipes from ongoing Agura pipeline replacement project. The project, which is currently on hold, was noticed by patrol team of the Joint Force to be without local surveillance guard. An act of vandalism was also clearly noticed in that general area. The discovery led to raid operation at Otukutu community in Ugeli, South local government area of Delta State, which led to the arrest of one Chief Emma Nwanko and others. The Joint Force Operation Pulo Shield is a continuous one aimed at eradicating illegal oil bunkering activities in the region in line with the Commander Operation Pulo Shield, Major General Alani Gafar Okumlola's Zero Tolerance campaign against oil theft, illegal oil bunkering and other sundry crimes.
The Nigeria Service Civil Defense Corps, the NSCDC, is also in the fore of clearing public property of unwanted individuals, and it's not limited to pipelines. In Osun State, the commanders arrested suspects of power infrastructure theft.
The situation was triggered by an insider. The person who vandalized this transformer is a staff of the Ministry of Works. He was the person who planned it, masterminded it, and even invited a professional electrician from outside to be able to perpetrate this act. We thank God that they were apprehended at the gate, as at the time they wanted to move out with these components. We in civil defense, we are very, very interested in this type of issue because that is our core mandate: protection of critical infrastructures of the economy. So anywhere we see that people are tampering with these infrastructures that we are saddled with the responsibility to protect, we will do our best to ensure that these criminals are brought to book and they will be adequately prosecuted.
One of the results of the activities of the security agencies is the arrest of suspects who seem to always have good reasons for getting involved.
Work with Ministry of Works. This is the first time. I must finally tell you the facts. Before man of God, I don't have the experience of this thing. It's the poverty. Even I cannot identify anything there. It's because of poverty. That because I'm struggling. I'm struggling since first time, second time to pay the fees of my children. But I couldn't get the money. And I don't want to beg. And that's why it is due to the financial problem that I have.
Begged me on phone, he begged me, say I should come. When I get there, he asked me about the money that he said I should borrow him. I said the money, I didn't have the money. He now be starting to be crying on me, say his son or his daughter need money. She want to do exam. When I want to leave the premises of the secretariat, he now begged me to tell me that I should come and help him carry coil from air to outside. I said, he told the security people, he said there's no problem with security. Everything, he said I should help him to do it. That's what led me to this.
Questions have been asked as to why this issue seems to become common in spite of efforts by the government and its agencies to protect these public property.
The nearness to residential building, to commercial centers now of the pipeline, make it vulnerable to attack by vandals. They don't need to go too far before they can perpetrate their evil. The right of way is cleared for them already. That's why we're having major complaint. And the Greek too. You know, like mentioned, the Bayelsa, Benin, Delta, the riverine areas. The inhabitants, they understand the aquatic life. And in their inborn terrain, they can swim to any length. So at times they swim in deep to the sea to see what is under.
That is not an excuse. because pipelines, there are guidelines to where the pipelines, to the spaces aside the pipeline. So if the communities have gone near the pipelines, you can be sure that the communities are the ones going against the law, because for every pipeline there's space allowed, prescribed space for the pipelines to pass. So the communities might be encroaching into those areas, and I think it's just for the right government parastatal to ensure that those allowances are not encroached into.